So welcome everyone, and thank you for taking time today to learn and collaborate around this wonderful, awesome resource that we can use for in-class instruction and also virtual instruction, and it's called Book Snaps. Just to give a shout out to the person who created this whole idea, Tara Martin. I use a lot of her resources in this presentation, so I want to make sure that I clarify that all of this is borrowed, not created. I've curated all of these resources that we'll go through today. All of the resources that are used today will be in this actual presentation. And as you can see, there is an example here that is an example of a book chat. This is one that I did in a PD. We'll talk more about it in a bit. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I found this quote and I thought it was a very good quote for us to think about as we're talking about how we interact with our students and we give them information, a lot of input. And this is based on reading, but kind of all content, right? All information without reflecting is like eating without digesting, right? If I don't digest my food, I can't put it into my soul and make it work for my body and really connect with it. So I thought that was really good about what allows students to do. So what it really does is it reinvents how our students discuss text and information. So it's a creative way, allows them to annotate and share, make personal connections with the content that we teach. We can use this for literature and for books with novels, but we can also use it with all kinds of subjects, and we'll discuss that later. But students share their thought process, their connections, and while they're doing that, they're making connections with their reasoning. It reminded me, I don't know if you guys have ever heard that poem, How to Eat a Watermelon Pickle. So like, right, I love that poem because it's all about just really getting into it and digesting it and being able to have it become part of you. And that's what I think that these are really good at doing. So it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Tara Martin is where I got this from. And there's 3 real steps. You set up a Google slideshow with blank slides per student in your class. You have each student take a slide and create a book snap for their key takeaways from a novel, from a lesson, from an article. It can be a video, it could be a lecture, it could be anything that you want, even during math and science and poetry. So the great thing though is they get to collaborate and they get to comment on the work of others. We'll do that in just a bit when we do one ourselves. And after they create, they're able to share feedback and they really are able to make that presentation, right? That share out. So it's an authentic audience and the audience is each other, but it's based on what I personally as a student got from that. So I used this when I first found out about it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. I'm so interested in using this. So I used it with my adult learners. And this is just an example of what I did. So I was doing history framework trainings and I did a jigsaw version. So if you look at this slide as an example, you could see that there's a link, right, to a slide deck. There's also a link to the information that I'm going to have them read. And I had an example of how to do the book chat, which were, excuse me, the Snapchat. And I also inputted the timer. Now you can see on here, let me get out of that. So there you go. That there were 4 groups. I put them into groups and they each did their own reading. So they had their content reading and then this becomes part of that presentation, the information. So I told them verbatim, right, that I wanted them to highlight and add key points that stood out, any questions, and then a 1 to 2 sentence summary of their learning. So I'm going to show you now, which you're able to look on your own too, the examples that they came up. Now these are adults, right? So you can see the people that were in my workshop that day. They're all history, social studies people, but you can see that they really were able to make connections with what they read. Veronica was doing the literacy portion, so she discussed that. Cricket was doing the citizenship, and it really was able to give them a chance to personalize their learning. So this is just an example of how we can use it with adults, and that's how I used it.
I put the link to the samples in the chat.
Do we have any questions yet, Kiana?
No questions, but just letting everybody know I put the link to the samples in the chat in case you missed it. So the slides will go on, but you've got some samples down there if you want.
Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you. I didn't even think of doing that. Awesome. So we're going to practice doing one ourselves. So I'm doing with you kind of what I did with them, but I've switched up our learning. So the thing is with a book snap, something has to go in, right? There has to be some sort of content that students are required to learn. And so right now I'm going to have you access any text you choose. And you can see that I have click here everywhere. So first I want to explain that there are 2 articles and there's 1 movie you could watch. So the first article is called Building a Buzz with Book Snaps. The second article, which is over on the far right-hand side, is called Be Real, and that's from actually Tara Martin. If you teach older kids, that one might be an awesome one to read, although you don't have to read it right now because you can read it later, because this is the actual original Snap version. So when she first thought of this, it was all about Snapchat, right? It was when kids were first starting doing Snapchat, and that's really where it started. But then it's evolved to using Google Slides or Google Documents or drawings or whatever you want. So the middle square, the middle little rectangle, is a movie that you could watch. Now you can see on here that I followed our protocol for HyperDocs, and so you can see that it says read this article, watch this movie with creator Tara Martin, or read this article, going back to making use of those verbs. And then if you go right up to the top where I'm kind of circling, it says link to our working slides. So I'm going to show you very quickly. If you link right there, it's going to take you to a new slide deck. I'm going to wait a little minute for everyone to get there. So this is taking you to that slide deck, which doesn't force you to make a copy. And in fact, you have editing rights. It's important that you give the students editing rights in order to create that slide deck. So I'm going to click on, you guys are probably already in it. And I can check right now. I've got 3 people in. You guys are faster than me. So you can see that I kind of rewrote those words about focus on what surprises you. So as you learn right now in just a moment, I want you to focus on what surprises you, or your insights or your connections or questions that might come to your mind as you learn. And then when you finish, I want you to make sure that you insert a 1 to 2 sentence reflection that illustrates how you'll use this resource that we're going through. So there's 7 steps here for you to remember. The first thing we need to do is we need to listen to either, I'm going to go through some teaching slides, so that's first. Then you're going to scroll down to the white slides and find your name. Then you're actually going to go back and listen or watch or read the material. The movie's a little difficult. I chose to do an example on the movie, so I had to really quick take a screenshot of the movie while I was doing it. It wasn't exactly easy, so that's kind of like a heads up. But I made sure that I took a picture of the part that I wanted to connect to, and then I inserted that picture into my slide. The next thing, you add images that help you communicate your connections, and last, add your reflection. So I can see someone's already checking out my example. So I watched the movie, and the quote from the movie that I jotted down is, it's actually a paraphrase, "It doesn't matter as long as you are allowing students to show their connections to their learning using visuals." And then I talked about how easy it is for them, and I showed the feelings there. I wanted to make sure that see that it's pointing to the text, and I can see how they're feeling. And then there's a way for them to do the emoji. So these are what caught my eye during the video. And then this is my summary, more like a reflection. I love this for Check for Understanding because it gives space for students to communicate their feelings and ideas and be creative. It really reminds me, when I was in the classroom, one of my favorite things to do, and shout out to Doug Fisher on this, I don't know how many years ago, I was like 27 years old. It was just 5 years ago, just joking. But so when I first learned about one-pagers, and I thought they were amazing. So to me, this is like a one-pager on steroids. Like, it's like multiplied by 100, because I'm not artistic. So this really gives that space for students to be able to communicate, but using this as their mode, so then we don't have to get caught up on that whole idea that I'm not able to draw. So notice that I put my emoji on there, my Bitmoji, and then my name was already there. So this is an example for you to look at as you work through. And I'm going to skip number 3 that you guys are all on, and I'm actually going to show you some teaching slides. I'm not going to go through these. I put these in here because I was like, you know what? I screenshotted these on the movie when I watched the movie, but I wanted to make sure that you had a step-by-step process, right, for help. So put your name on a slide, things to show students exactly how to do it. I hid one of them because it's not something we're going to be doing because we're not looking at a book. The number 8 is about how to put in emojis and how to search on the web. And then there is also a little shout out to using Bitmojis. So if you can get kids to add that extension. Do any of you guys not have the extension that is a Bitmoji? Do not? Do you? So it's a Chrome extension that you can add. Kiana, am I using the right word there? Chrome extension?
Yes.
Okay, so you can add that in Chrome extensions. So in order to do that, I might mess this up because I'm never really good at doing this stuff. Do you want me to walk you through how to get Bitmojis?
There is a Google tools next week if you're continuing.
Well, maybe we should just not do that then. I'll gladly help anyone after.
No, just show everybody how to do it, but just know that you have to set it up on your phone app first for it to work on your phone.
That's right.
That's the only thing. You can show them where it's at, but if you don't have it already set up, it's not going to go
Chrome extensions, right?
Yep.
You notice how I'm not very googly, so it takes me a minute. And then you go to the web store. So once you go to the web store, you're going to search for Bitmoji. And then you're going to tell it to add to your Chrome. Mine says rate it because I already added it. So it'll look like this, and you'll add it to your Chrome. And then you'll end up with this picture, just like I have. So then you click on that, and then it gives you all kinds of choices to put in to your presentations, to whatever it is you're doing. So that's just a little heads up on that, little sidebar.
So the way that you dress it on your phone is the way that it'll come out. And the first time that you sign in, it'll have you sign in to match what's on your phone, and it'll sync up.
Another thing I thought of in helping students and helping you is, what if a student isn't very proficient at going and getting images? In these slide decks that we always get from the internet, they always have these emojis. So I actually even used the heart today. I used this heart on this slide, and I put that in there. So you could just copy and paste these. So if you're doing this with younger children who may not have the ability to search, you could modify it and just always keep these little emojis there. I also put a help slide in here that is actually a video. This is another person that's giving a shout out to Tara Martin, and this is kind of like a step-by-step for kids. I didn't really necessarily want you to take the time to watch it today, but I did want you to be able to have that for reference for later, and then to possibly use with your students. My idea is this, is you're gonna make a copy, make it your own, and kick me out of it, right? And make it you, put your Bitmoji all over, and I wanted to have something already done for you. So you notice that I copy and pasted the slide that tells us the articles, and then I'm actually gonna copy and paste the steps so that it can be right before what you're gonna do.
Tracy?
Yeah?
I think that you might have created the slides, the shortcut to the slides, and then made changes to your presentation slides. So when it forced me to make a copy.
No, but this is a different slide. So you guys are in my, okay, you guys are in the presentation, the real presentation, right? Give me a thumbs up if you are, please. Awesome.
So it's just me then. Okay.
So on slide 13, you're going to click right here. And when you do, it's going to take you, I'm just going to do it. It's going to take you to the slides that I was just on.
Thank you.
And you actually have editing rights because you're going to edit it right now. So right now, this is all the stuff that I went through. Let me get on there. There's all the stuff that I just went through, right? All the help pages. There's more help with the movie. And then you're going to go right back to access the content. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm going to turn the music back on because I don't want any awkward silence. And we're gonna take about 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, what you're gonna do is you're gonna access any one of these three, read or watch it, and then you're gonna follow these steps for success that are on slide 17. And you can see that I already put your names here. So you're gonna scroll and find your name. If they're not here, well, that's a good way to take attendance, I guess. And so you're gonna go ahead and start, after you learn, creating yours. And remember, I'm gonna bring my example back down, just in case. So I'm gonna bring my example down here so that we can be able to remember. I'm driving you crazy with that. And I'm gonna make that background white so it can look just like the ones I'm expecting. And there you go. So this is, and you can change the background color of yours too when you make it. Okay, right now I'm gonna put us to learning time. So I just wanna know, are there any questions before I put you to it? One more time on the steps, we're gonna access the text of our choice, and then we're gonna create that book snap following those steps for success and my example if you need it. And if you need to go back up into the help pages, that's cool and fine. Good to go? All right, I'm gonna put the music back on and I'm gonna set a timer for 10 minutes. All right. So I'm gonna bring us back to whole group. I know we didn't get to finish completely, but I just wanted you to be able to experience it. So knowing that we didn't get to finish, we're gonna just look at each other's work for the sake of seeing and talking and just kind of thinking about what it is that we would need to modify for our own students, and also what it is we enjoyed. So I'm gonna kind of go through them. I look at Mary's, I noticed she changed the background and started to add her own personalization on there by using, Mary, did you use the ones that I provided instead of going on the internet?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
I love the way they turned out. Those are really awesome. I noticed that April's changing the way she has her name, like she's gonna move it another way. I think that's awesome. Let's see, I think this is Robin. Is this you, Robin? So she put, I'm not sure if it's GIF or GIF, right? So she put one of those movie thingies. I would have used that picture too, Robin, the how to create one. So I love that. And I noticed she was able to get her reaction on there as well. And then
does everybody know, give me a thumb up if you know how to insert a GIF.
Oh, good one.
The ones that move and animated.
Let's do that. That's awesome. Oh, no, Lord help me. Okay, so I'm not as good at it as everybody else. So what we do is what I do, so I'm gonna get rid of the chat. So what I do is I go out into the internet and I look for a heart.
How about click here? Because we're always
here. Okay.
Click here, click here.
Click here, GIF. So then I'm gonna find them, right? And they all, notice how they all say that that's what they are. So I'm gonna move this over because I'm gonna grab one. I'm gonna get this one. What I do is I put it on my desktop. So once it's on my desktop that I can no longer see, so that's gonna be interesting. I just take it, I have stuff everywhere. Hold on, this is not what I meant to do here. And it came out as a ping. So when you put it to your desktop, so I'm gonna click on it here, on this one, sorry. And then notice how it's blinking. Kiana, will it let me copy and paste it?
No, but you can drag and drop it.
I have to do it the way I did it, right?
No, you don't.
Okay, show me, walk me through it.
Sure, grab your slides.
Grab my slides.
Grab the tab.
Just drag it.
Just drag this thing into my slides?
Yeah, but you have to
drag it up to the tab.
Oh, well, then I'm gonna have to cut and do double screen, right?
Yeah, like that, and then slide it in there.
Okay, so I'm not gonna do it on hers. I'm gonna do it on Veronica's. Okay. Oh Lord, I missed my thing now. There it is. So I'm gonna grab this thing.
Just drag and drop.
And drag and drop. Let me shorten this a little bit. So grab him and put him in. Oh, I've been doing this the much harder way. I save it on my desktop first.
Yeah, if you copy paste, all the animation will go away.
So what I did was save it on my desktop. So let's all practice that on this one slide. Find something, a GIF, a GIF. Is it GIF or GIF?
There's an article about that.
Yeah, I read it too, and I can't remember.
Jif is a peanut butter.
Yeah, it's Jif.
It's GIF.
It's GIF or just, I don't know either. Okay, so you're gonna click on it, but you have to be sure when you see it here on the big one, you want to go to where it's this one over here in the corner, or it won't be right. And then you're gonna click it in there.
Yeah, look at the preview because that'll show you if it's really animated.
Yeah,
It's
and
what
then
Tracy said.
because if you go from that other one, it doesn't work. And there, that one's not working much of it. Oh yeah, it does. It wants me to buy tickets. Okay. All right. So did everyone get a good practice on that? Thank you, Kiana. All right. So we were going over everybody's. Jeanette, yours looks great. You were starting to think about something that you're reading right now, and I think that's an awesome use. And so you could be on a certain chapter, and once this is a habit for students, I think they'll get better and better at it. Oh, I love that. You put one in there. And then, Bertha, you're definitely doing a bang-up job on this. So simple but effective. All you have to do is follow the steps, and you'll be able to do your part. That's perfect. I love it. And then we've got Janet. She put her Bitmoji in there. Karamia, yours is awesome. You're sitting on the books using your Bitmoji. Her favorite idea is identifying plot elements, highlighting figurative language, and identifying external and internal conflict. I know, right? I was thinking too, like, what if you put a plot line and you kind of had them do the same type of thing that we're doing here, but on that plot line, and bring that conflict in? I think that'd be awesome. Great ideas here. And this is Michael. Michael says they can be a great warm-up or a review. They share what they're thinking as they read. I like that. Students share with them. I will try think bubbles in the future. Michael, what do you mean by that? What is that?
So in the video, she's talking about having a little think bubble above their emoji, about what they read or watched or something.
Okay, so to do a think bubble, you can go right here to shapes, okay? And go to call outs and like, see this little think bubble dude right here? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, she was showing some examples.
And then you can double click, and then when I double click on it, I'm ruining your thing, and I'll take it out in a moment. I can double click on that shape, and I can say, hey, my thought bubble. And then if I want to, I can change the color, like this could be red, like your book, and then I can change the inside of it to be like, I don't know.
Yeah, for your English learners, you could put a sentence frame in there to help them get their
Oh, that's true. That's a good idea.
So is that what you were wondering about, or did I go totally off?
No, she was talking about that in the video, in her YouTube video.
So it's really easy to, any shape can be turned into a text box. You just have to click on the shape, and then you bring it in, and then you double click and you write your text when we're in Google Sites. So then we've got Diana. Follow the directions. That's all we got to do. That's right. And then Kiana had hers with her norms.
Yeah, I was just thinking, to get kids to do this, you really got to think about, just like what she was talking about, what are the rules going to be?
Yeah.
What are the expectations? Modeling for them what one is will get you better quality in the end. It's real when kids are sitting in front of you, and it's certainly real online. So have lots of examples for them, or one that you've done, and they'll take off, right? They'll run with it.
Yeah, and she really talks about that digital citizenship aspect, and I really appreciated that. It was in one of the linked articles. I think it was in her video, or no, it was in the article by her, but it was not the one there. I have some more articles I'll show you in a moment, but how, you would never, because we all have editing rights here, right? So I was messing with Michael's. That's inappropriate. I mean, I was just trying to show you something, so sorry, Michael. But so
okay.
to really, give that conversation over to students is important. And that's why my thinking was the first one out is a book snap on book snaps. Because if this is something they haven't learned about, I wanted to kind of like, maybe that is a good idea to start there. So this was our attempt. And one thing she talked about as well is that as a warm up the next day, like let's say that I had everybody doing, it could be a math problem, it could be science, it could be literature, it could be anything. And then you actually can have that in your Google Slides the next day. and then have that going through so everyone can see each other's, you know, each other's information and thoughts and reactions, and you could actually do a routine around that as well. So I wanted to not leave you, of course, without more information. So I'm going to go over a couple more things. So first of all, this is all good stuff, right? But we don't have near enough time to make one. My hope was we'd be able to make one today. But then I thought, wait a minute, they can just use this one for the one. And you can just delete all me and only keep you. But if you need any help, and there are any kinks that we can help you out with, and I have my email here, and it's actually a click as well. Just email me any questions. You know I'm here. I'm right here. I'm in my kitchen, but I'm here, and I can answer all your emails. Garamia, thank you for emailing me, because you do email me every now and then, and usually you're just being nice and kind when I send emails to you guys, and I really appreciate that. So the next resource I wanted you to see is, Kiana, want to talk to this one? Maybe not.
Oh, yes. Oh,
I need your baby, so I wanted to
I should have my glasses on.
Okay, this is Kiana's creation, and it's a HyperDoc.
Yeah, we did some work with the migrant education group this year about family literacy nights. So even before we were all stuck at home, we were trying to put resources out for families that might not have a whole lot of books in the house, families that, you know, aren't going to the library, and certainly now that our schools are closed. So when you go on that, it's just a HyperDoc, and almost all of you are with us for HyperDocs. And it's just a place to get free reading things. So you might have heard of Epic by now. You might have heard of News ELA by now, but there's some there that you may not have heard of. And something like Common Lit. Common Lit is another great place to find both informational text and fictional text by grade level. I'm sure they have probably some free version on to get to all of the stuff, but I like it because there's translations, and it also is a reader, so it'll read any of the text to students. That's Common Lit. But then we also put free places to listen, so different podcast places, and some for younger kids, some for older kids, and then down at the bottom, there are places
I'll click on it, and that way I can you guys
for free visuals. So places to view like Google Arts and Culture. That's something that a lot of people don't know about, but Google Arts and Culture will connect you to almost any museum in the world. And if there is a digital or a virtual field trip that is connected to that museum, you can take it. Think of any piece of art and you can put it into that Google Arts and Culture, and it will take you to a Picasso. It will take you to a Rembrandt. And then it kind of zooms in on different parts of that piece of art so that you can really read closely a piece of art.
That's an awesome way to do a book snap, actually. Right? I would love doing that.
I've seen all kinds. So anyway, it's just another place that has some tools all gathered for you in now that you know what a HyperDoc is, right? In the essence of putting it all together.
And remember, the pictures are where you link. So if you hover over the picture and you go to the bottom part, you click right there and it's gonna tell you where you're gonna be going.
Yeah, so I think both the titles and the pictures on that one will link you to it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, this one, I have it right here. I don't know. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So on slide 17, I was thinking about primary grades and how one would want to modify that. So this is a really good website. If you click there, it takes you to the website, and there's awesome examples how to adapt for primary grades, and you can actually see the recordings of students doing it. Slide 18 is a video. Tara Martin, I don't know if it's her daughter or if it's her niece or whatever, but so this young girl is teaching other students how to do it. So I thought it would be a really great video. Tara Martin, actually in her video, I don't know if you watched it, but she had a think sheet. So I couldn't find access to that on her internet. So I went ahead and made one and dropped it into our folder for you to be able to access. I don't know that that's necessary, but it might be for some grade levels or perhaps when you are doing certain books. And so I wanted to make sure and put that in as a resource. So if you click on that picture, it's going to take you right to a Google Doc that you're allowed to use however you want. So again, hashtag book snaps. It's something that's as easy as 1, 2, 3. And I want to make sure that you guys know that we're here for any more support as we continue to learn together. And in fact, we have 15 minutes left on this actual chat that we have going on. And so if you have any specific questions, we'll be glad to go over them. And notice that there's links on every slide to the source where I got that information. So I took a lot of her information and the information from Achieve the Core and put it on these slides for us to utilize. So each one has where I got that information so that they can get the credit that they deserve. She deserves a lot of credit for this. It's a great idea. I think it's something that can really grow, especially as we continue to teach virtually, but even when we go back to our classroom, whatever our new normal is. So I want to remind you also that bit.ly for this actual presentation is the link to everything, because everything is hyperlinked in here. And if that kind of bugs you, you can always email me and I can link you to the folder where everything is housed, but really it's just everything that's on here, and that's fine too. So I just want to know if there's any more questions or anything else that anyone would like us to cover before we say happy Friday and have a great weekend.
I want to say, even if it's not a question, maybe unmute and tell us, what do you know now that you didn't?
I'll unmute everybody. The door. There you go. I have everyone unmuted.
I'll go first.
Okay, cool.
I think, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Oh, now I can see you.
This is Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Anyway, I am like so excited to try all these different things that I've learned this week. This week has been like, I've gone to 4 different PDs that you guys have offered, and I just have so much information in my brain, and I think I need to sit down and, like, right now when we stop the PD, I need to sit here and process it and go through the different slides on my own and then try to finish the one that I was creating. I love this. This is a great idea. You were talking about the 1-pager, and I have recently started to do that. So I can see how that would easily transfer to something like this. And the kids that I'm doing 7th grade right now. So the 7th graders are all about Snapchat and all of that. So
yeah,
this would be
I
something.
think for that grade level, I think, yeah, for sure, Snapchat would work. I don't know how to work Snapchat, so I'm really glad I focused on Google Slides. You gave up with me on Snapchat. My 20-year-old's like, no, Mom, you can't get it. Mary, I noticed that you had said you would even like, we have a comeback 102 for the HyperDocs. And so you had mentioned that you would actually appreciate a comeback for this. What would that look like for you? So that way we have some feedback as to what, kind of give us our charging and our orders for what we need to work towards. Because I'll put it on as a step 2, right?
Yes. I think that, do I think that once we have a chance to actually on our own play with it a little bit, then maybe we could come back and showcase or so that we can get ideas from each other. I don't know. I would like to see
I feel the same
Valley, are doing something like that.
Are you guys good with about 2 weeks on that time frame or more time? How are you guys feeling about that?
I will try it.
There's a question that came to me in the chat, and to change your view on your own screen, you can go to the top left and go from speaker view to gallery view, and that'll show you everybody. No?
Top right, maybe top right.
I'm sorry, top right.
Depending on where they last left the view.
I lost mine because I accidentally pressed the minus button, so someone else might have.
There we go.
You got it?
Yeah, I've got it.
You guys were gone for a while, and I was like, I can't see anybody. Where are they at?
What else are you all?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Jeanette.
My question is on slide 20. It says once we've created the slides and the kids have worked on it, the students can comment on one of the book snaps. I do use Google Slides with my class, but I was just wondering what do you suggest to do for them to comment? Do they comment on the actual slide, but then that might mess up what the student has done? Do I put another slide for that student so students can post comments?
So if I go right here, I'm in your presentations, right? So I'm going to go to yours, Jeanette. Let me find it right here. So I'm going to make a comment, right?
Okay.
And it's going to, and I'm going to say,
Did you see where that was at the top?
Okay, so do it that way then. My kids haven't done
Unless
that.
Someone has a smarter suggestion.
I would just say that once the due date has passed, go into the settings and change them from can edit to can comment.
Yes.
And then it locks everybody's stuff in, and they can't change theirs or anybody's anymore.
Oh.
And
that's a great, and I was going to do that with ours, but I know you guys are going to want to play with it still. So I'll just make a copy of it and kind of put it aside, and then you can kind of still play with this.
But going back to, you were suggesting that once they all completed it, go back to settings, make it only can comment. And if they comment, it will automatically be the way Tracy was doing it.
Correct.
Yeah, the only way if you give them only commenting ability, the only thing they'll be able to do is comment on each other's work. And so that's.
But they have to press that little button, comment.
Yeah, this one right here that says open comment, and then you got to go to add comment.
Okay. And that's what they would do. Okay.
And they go, and then see how I have my little Bitmoji there? You can see who made the comment.
Yes.
So especially if your students have their, they'll have their name because it's Google Classroom. So you can see who made the comment.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, I do too. Thank you, Kiana.
That's something new.
Kiana, especially for reminding me, because I forgot to tell people that after we're done, take off the editing rights, because that's a big deal.
And I'll just say one more thing about commenting. You can either click on the slide and it'll make the comment about the whole slide, or you can click on something specific in the slide. So if they have a misspelling, you could click on that box, and even though I wouldn't be able to edit it for them in the box, I can click right on the box where the error is.
So right here where I'm doing it?
Right.
Like this?
Yes.
I can do this and it'll go right there. Got it. Okay.
So then make a comment, Trace. Just say hello.
Great.
And hit it.
Oh, it's right on it.
Yeah. So then we can all see what's highlighted.
Love it.
Exactly where the issue is.
Or the good thing, right? So I would tell them, find, 2 roses and a thorn, or, some feedback, right? So they have to come in and then they have to give each other feedback. That'd be a great way to have them do feedback. But I love the idea of being able to do it on that specific part on the slide. And then if you want to make it back to normal after, you just press resolve and it goes away.
Okay.
Anything else? Thank you, Jeanette, for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Good insight, good use?
Yep. I'm new to this BookSnap world. So what I'm noticing is it's a Google slide, right? So all I do is go into my Google and open up a Google slide and set it up as a BookSnap. Is that what I'm understanding? I'm gonna do it right now. So I came in late too, so I'm sorry.
Okay, this is what I did. I said file and I said new.
Okay.
And I would name it myself. I would, if I were the teacher, right? I'm gonna have to give everybody sharing links. So everyone would need to have, and I'm gonna write snaps, math, 425, right? So, I'm spelling all the time. So then I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to give everyone sharing links, right? I'm going to give them, anyone with the link can edit, because you're going to want them to be able to edit, right?
Okay.
Now I'm going to press done. And then this right here, I'm going to click on share. And I'm going to get that shareable link. See how it says anyone with the link can edit?
Yes.
I'm going to get that shareable link. And when I, in whatever it is I'm assigning them, where I'm talking to them, either it's even in my PowerPoint, my notes, my slides, whatever, that's what's going to go there. So in here, let me go back. Where's it at? Right here, this right here.
Yes.
When you click on this, that's where I put that, okay?
Oh.
So to link, you go like this. I'm just gonna do one right now, you guys, just in case you don't know how to link. So for me to create a link, I do a text box, and then, right? And then I'm going to put that paper clip. Do you see that paper clip? I right-clicked my text box, and then I did that. And then I'm gonna say access math snap here. And then that link is gonna go right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to change the color. Oh, Wes.
Mm-hmm.
Let me change that color. You can change the color back to white. And then now see where I'm gonna click. Let me move this up a little bit. Sorry about that. Oh, well, I guess I need to turn something more than white then. Now I can, when I click that, it's gonna take me to the one I just created.
Okay. Okay.
Now, here's the deal with that. I know that I've done this before with adults and they got very irritated with each other because they felt like someone else was in their slide and they really took it personally. And so, like, I almost started a fight in a workshop. And so I think it was a bad day for everybody. But what I'm saying is that that's why I pre-populated everyone's name. So like nobody needs to be further frustrated today. So I made sure that I pre-populated with your names. So in a classroom, I probably would do that. And then like I might have people partner on it too. So I would, you know, you can choose the layouts of the slides you want. I like the one with the name down here. So I can put name of student, right?
And in Google,
and they find their name and then they can go to that slide. Kiana?
Yeah, if just do it one time and then leave that one alone and make a copy of it every time you have a new assignment, right?
Oh, good one.
And if you're using Google Classroom, then you'll just take that link and push it out to all the kids.
Yeah.
So look, I don't know if everyone got what Kiana was saying. So she would say like, this would be my snap template.
Yeah.
Right? And then what I would do at the end, I would say, don't I make a copy then, right? I make a copy of the entire presentation and then I call this the
assignment.
Math.
Snaps Math 2. Snap Science.
425 or the 435, 425 or the Indian in the cupboard snaps or whatever it's going to be. Is that a good explanation? Can we get a thumbs up on that, or where are you at?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because I want to be, if you're not here, I want to make sure that we cool. All right. Awesome.
I'm like this.
That's okay.
I guess I just have to go through it myself, but it makes sense. It seems very simple.
Yeah, I would start with Tracy's, make a copy of Tracy's, and then change the kids' names on the bottom. And use
and I put the little teaching one together with all those front-loaded slides because I thought, you know, they're going to want to have something to like walk students through the first time, right? And so I thought, I did that this morning. I was like, I would appreciate that someone put that together for me, and then I put that movie in there as well. That movie where the girl explains is super cute too, and she does a really good job explaining it to the kid point of view, right? If you didn't watch the movie with Tara Martin, she does a very good job explaining it for Google Slides from the teacher point of view. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that, remember that is in here. It's actually in more than one place. So it's in slide 13. So you can go ahead and, you know, rewatch these resources as you learn. So any more questions for the last couple of minutes or insight?
It's Friday.
It's Friday, you guys. TGIF. I just want to let everybody know I really appreciate all the work that everyone's putting in. And I know that our hearts are hurting because we want to see our students and we want to see people's faces, which is why I'm so happy when I get to see your faces here. And so just thank you for continuing to spend time with us. We will definitely have a 102. I'll give 2 or 3 weeks in between so everyone can have a chance to play with this. If you can't get into the resources, if you need any extra help, go ahead and email me. I'm always right here in my kitchen waiting. So just let me know what you need.
Tracy, did you do a feedback form?
I didn't know we were doing feedback forms.
That's okay. I'm going to just, if you can spend 1 minute, just today I learned, and finish that in the chat so we can just sort of capture that for our purposes. That would be great.
Thank you so much. So in the chat today I learned. Gotcha.
Okay. And then we'll call it TGI Friday and you're excused after that. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.